If you're in your 20s and 30s and feel like life is behind schedule, like everyone else is getting promotions, houses, families, muscles, figured out lives, and you're just trying not to relapse, not lose your job, not to spiral again, this video is for you. I call it Vegeta Syndrome. That feeling of trying your hardest and still feeling like it's never enough. If you've ever watched Vegeta and felt something heavy instead of just hype, this is your video. Because he's you, a lot more than Goku ever was. Goku is wish fulfillment. Vegeta is me at 2 a.m. questioning all my life choices. Who Vegeta really is. Vegeta is supposed to be royalty. Prince of all Saiyans. Born talented, born elite, born for greatness. On paper, he's the guy that should have won. But reality smacks him. His planet, it's gone. His people, gone. He's working for a tyrant, and some low-class clown named Kakarot keeps surpassing him. Imagine that ego death. No matter how hard he trains, how mad he gets, Goku breaks his limits, then asks, "What's for lunch?" Vegeta isn't the clean hero. He's the dude who remembers every humiliation, carries every failure like a scar, uses pride and anger as armor because underneath he's terrified he's not enough. That's why he hits men differently. Goku is who we wish we were. Vegeta is who we actually are when the room is quiet. Real life parallel. Real life parallel. In life, Vegeta Syndrome looks like this. You open socials, you see people your age buying houses, getting married, traveling, getting shredded, starting companies. You see glow-ups, just grind bro posts, and you're like, okay, but how? Meanwhile, you're fighting ADHD brain, dopamine addiction, money stress, mental health, maybe divorce, maybe kids, maybe child support, maybe broken friendships. You're thinking, I'm not lazy, I do try, I do care. So why am I still stuck? My own example of this in life was, I grew up, I had a best friend, I was always comparing myself to my best friend, whether it was girls, money, anything. And we got older, it got worse, he would always win at things, always. It seemed like he could never lose, while I would go through similar situations, but always come up short. And then later on, that evolved into me comparing myself to other men, just constantly trying to catch up to other people. That's what this looks like. That's Vegeta Syndrome. You do care, you are trying, but every time you check the scoreboard, you feel like you're losing. And out of that glows one really dangerous lie. That core lie of, if I'm not number one, I'm nothing. Vegeta's whole sickness is basically this. If I'm not the strongest, I'm nothing. He even told Trunks, either you'll be the best or you'll be nothing. And it's like, real life versions of that are, if I'm not as successful as my friends, I'm a loser. If I struggle with porn addiction, I'm trash. If I don't make X amount of money, I'm not a real man. If I'm not always in control, I'm weak. When you believe that, you either burn yourself out trying to catch up, or you end up numbing yourself out because screw it, I already lost. Vegeta does both of those things. He overtrains, he self-destructs, he lets pride ruin everything. Then breaks down eternally because if it never feels like he's enough anyway, why try? But here's the thing. Vegeta's best moments aren't when he's the strongest in the room. They're when he lets go of that lie and becomes something deeper than number one. So let's break down 4 Vegeta philosophies that actually translate in real life here. 4 Vegeta philosophies. Philosophy number 1, your worth does not equal your power level. Vegeta spends most of his life thinking, my power level is my value. If someone is stronger, he's worthless. If he can't win, he's trash. Every time someone surpasses him, his whole identity shatters. But look at later Vegeta. He becomes a father, a partner, a dude who will break himself to protect his family. That's just not strong guy. That's a man with character. In real life, your power level is stuff like your income, your physique, your body count / relationship history, your follower count, your productivity habits, your streaks, your apps. Those things can matter, but they are not your worth. Your worth is you're still here. You're capable of change. There are people who are better off if you're around. You have potential, even if it's buried under bad habits and bad years. So philosophically, the Stoics would say, your goodness comes from your choices, not your circumstances. Your goodness comes from what you do, not your circumstances. Therapists will tell you your value as a person is not the same as your performance. Vegeta's arc shows that the more he connects to being a dad, a protector, the less obsessed he is with a number. Philosophy number 2, pain hits different when you fight for others. Early Vegeta is all ego, pride, revenge, glory, arrogance. Later Vegeta has people he cares about. He's got Bulma, he's got Trunks, his new home, his weird little found family, the Z Fighters. Suddenly, his fights aren't about, I want to be number 1. They're about, I want them to live, I want them to be okay. In real life, this flips your grind. When it's just you, it's easy to say, whatever, man. If I burn out, if my health sucks, if my life choices are chaos, who cares? It's just me. But when you realize my kid is watching how I handle stress, my partner feels it when I mentally check out, my friends are impacted by whether I show up or not, then discipline stops being an ego project and becomes about not abandoning your party. It doesn't mean you have to save everybody, but there's probably at least one person in your life that deserves a better version of you. Philosophy number 3, your past is an arc, not a prison. Your past is not a prison. Vegeta has done horrible things. He's destroyed people, he's hurt innocent worlds, he's betrayed, killed, burned bridges. He doesn't get a clean slate. He has to live with what he's done, obviously, but here's the key. He refuses to let that be the final version of him. He doesn't pretend it never happened. He just keeps choosing differently again and again. He continues to move forward. In real life, you might have hurt people you cared about, lied, cheated, used people, wasted years partying or numbing out, escaping, burned opportunities, been someone you can't even look at in the mirror. That stuff matters. You can't just positive vibe, woo-saw that back, but your past is still an arc. It's not a cage. Like psych-wise, that's called integration. Owning your story without letting it run you. In self-improvement, the best main characters usually have the ugliest backstories. Vegeta teaches you, you can't undo your past, but you can outgrow it. And number 4, philosophy. Vegeta tortures himself by constantly comparing himself to Goku. So you have to realize you're not behind. You're on your own quest line. You are not behind. You are on your own quest line. That's what you have to focus on. So Vegeta, he could have just been Vegeta, different style, different role, different flavor of hero, but instead he keeps thinking, if I don't beat this one dude, my life is pointless. That's you and your social media, or your life with your friends, or your life in general. If you don't make this kind of money, if my relationship doesn't look like theirs, if my healing doesn't match their timeline, if I'm not as shredded, spiritual, successful as the guy next to me, then I'm nothing. But you and that dude don't have the same childhood trauma, brain chemistry, opportunities, responsibilities, personality. Man, y'all don't have, you are you and they are them. So it is pointless. It is a wasteful game to compare yourself. You're not the same. You're not in the same game. You're not in the same save file. You have your own quest line, your own job, your body, your kids, your partner, your demons, your dreams. The question isn't, am I winning global rankings? It's, am I doing right by my story? In this season, with what I've got, Vegeta stops being miserable when he leans into being Vegeta. The stubborn one, the intense one, the guy who still shows up when it matters, not Goku 2.0. So in closing this out, I've got one simple challenge for you. If you feel like Vegeta right now, angry, you're not what you thought you'd be, embarrassed by who you've been, sick of feeling second place or behind, secretly scared you're never gonna become the man you wanted to be, I want you to hear this. Your story is not finished. You are not your worst night. You're not the lowest bank balance you've had. You're not your harshest critic's opinion, or your last relapse, or your parents' expectations. Bruce Lee said, I'm in this world not to live up to your expectations, but to live up to mine. You are what you choose to do next. Vegeta never got the perfect story he wanted, but he got something way more real. He got growth, a family that depended on him, a home he could protect, a version of himself that deep down he could finally respect. And that's what it's about. At the end of the day, you are somebody that 12-year-old you is like, yeah, we did it. And 60-year-old you can look back and be like, yeah, I was that dude. So here's your quest from this video. I'm gonna give you a little quest. Tonight, do one thing your future self would respect. Not 10, just one. And for example, for your body, give yourself 20 push-ups. Go for a walk. Do a light stretch. For your mind, how about 10 minutes of reading instead of doom scrolling? And for your life, reply to that text you've been avoiding. Throw out one toxic thing in your room. And for your purpose, write one page about the man you're trying to become. Do it quietly. Don't post it. Don't brag about it. No new year, new me. No, none of that. Let it be your sand training secret. You're in the hyperbolic time chamber. Main characters aren't built in one transformation scene. They're built in thousands of tiny choices that nobody claps for. So, in closing, if this hit you, if this video hit you, you're not the only one on a Vegeta arc. I'm there too. I want you to drop a comment with the one thing you're going to do tonight. If you want more videos like this, less alpha guru, more real talk with anime, game metaphors, hit subscribe and stick around. And remember, you're not behind. You're just in the middle of your story.